What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Land of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are back today with another episode of the Yesterday's Enterprise build series in the 1701-C. Now, we have been waiting for a while for the Aztek Dummy to arrive. It has not been in stock. Just waiting, and finally it arrived, and I am ready to move on. Now, I am still in the process of cleaning up all of the parts from the debacle that was the tape job. After looking at everything and realizing, after putting the primer down on the nacelles, I had already put the color down. I'd already put the base color down before I basically just screwed up the process. It needed to be down to the primer before we apply the Aztek Dummy, and unfortunately I had to strip the paint again, and this time things happened. It's been a really challenging process, so instead of working on the pylons today, which I'm still in the process of cleaning up, I had to do a bunch of cleanup work on the super glue and all that jazz. So instead of doing that, we're going to be working on the nacelles, which is great because we haven't really seen the nacelles much since the very beginning. So we have these all primed, ready to roll, and then we have our Aztek Dummy. So let's go ahead and unpackage the Aztek Dummy, take a look, and see what we're in for. Now remember, we're only going to be using part of this, and having this is inspiring me to want to buy another Ambassador class. I don't know, I'm an idiot. But this has been a lot of fun to build, so we shall see. Oh wow. Much bigger than the Defiant. Wow. Oh man, this would have helped me so much in the beginning. Yeah, it's a full description of like how to apply it. Basically, the process for an Aztek Dummy, if you guys haven't seen it, and you guys should definitely watch my Defiant episodes, but if you haven't seen how it works, you start with the primer and then you go high to low on your colors. So whatever the darkest color is, you're going to start with that one. You spray down and then you put your masking over it, and then you spray your next color, and then you put the masking over it, and then you spray your next color, and then you put the masking over it, and then you put the base over the top of it. And then you remove the masking and everything just turns out so good. The tape that he uses, Lou, that he uses here. Oh, look at that. That's super cool. The tape that he uses is a super high quality. It's meant for paint. It is it's a glorious thing to work with. So, the instructions are also really, really done well here. We'll review more of these as we go along, and I'll throw out the relevant ones on the screen when we get to it. But what we're going to be looking at today specifically is just masking off the nacelles. So, we are going to be doing basically just a pretty simple job here today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be spraying our dark blue through here and then along here, and then basically just putting our base coat over the top. I just kind of wanted to give a quick run through on how all of this works. There is a mask for. Oh, it looks like we have the mask for the grills as well, which is pretty nice. So in that case, I'm going to be spraying the grills as well. So we are going to be putting the blue, and then we're going to be putting our khaki brown down. Or should I? Which color should we use? No, we're going to be using the proper color, which is going to be, I don't know what I was thinking, our gold yellow from Vallejo, the game color. That is the color of the EM Field grills. So we're going to be doing that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our base color over the top. And we're going to be using my new paint booth to do so. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. There's not going to be a whole lot of me talking this episode, and it's likely not going to be a very long one. And we'll come back here at the very end. We'll talk about how everything went, and then, like I said, we'll kind of cut in if there's any comments that need to be made or descriptions as we're going along. But my new paint booth is a little loud, so I'm going to turn down the volume of that, turn up our music, enjoy that, enjoy the paint, and then we'll be back to talk about it here at the end. Alright, so I just want to go ahead and cut in real quick in between painting, and the thing that I realize is they don't actually have the masks for the EM field grills, which I found to be kind of odd. But then again, it is a commonly hand-painted part, but I wanted to try to go ahead and apply the same technique, so I went ahead and sprayed it, put our 6mm Tamiya masking tape, which is the perfect size for the EM field grill, so it's perfect. So I went ahead and just sprayed it down and then put our tape down in between. Otherwise, once again, the plan is now going to be, we're going to go ahead and put our dark paint, our German gray, down right through here. Then we're going to mask it off, and then we're going to do our light blue in these two areas here. And then we're going to mask it off, and then we're going to do our light blue. We're going to be doing basically some strips through here. We're going to just paint a swath of light blue and the blue gray, and then we're going to put some strips over the top of that. And then basically a lot of the action that's going to be happening on the top, but then we're going to come along and match up where these go on the bottom of the nacelles. It's likely that I will paint the nacelle while it's together in this sort of configuration. Yeah, it's likely I'll do that because I'll be able to line up my masking, because I want to get those lines at the end of the nacelle, and I want them to match up perfectly. So that's what I'll be doing here today. So that's going to be what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get back into the booth, and we'll talk about everything went at the very end. We'll be back. Alright, we're back, and after what turned out to be kind of a difficult paint job, only because I found out the difference between Vallejo and Tamiya. Vallejo paints better on brush, Tamiya sprays better? I don't know, it's kind of weird. But regardless, I had a very difficult time spraying, and then the decision to try to keep the nacelles together while painting as well was also a poor idea, and that really kind of came through in the striping on the nacelles. So let's go ahead and start there and see how it turned out. I don't think that we're going to get a very clean job through here, so let's go ahead and see. Yeah. I was a little worried about that part. I got a stripe there. Okay. Pulled some tape there, pulled some paint there as well. I might have to mask that off and clean that up. We'll have to take a look. Oof. Yeah, this Vallejo is quickly becoming not a fan favorite. Let's go ahead and pull from our EM field grills. That did, however, turn out pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and grab the other one. Now, depending on how this happens up top, we'll determine how we approach this. And if I have to tape this custom without the Aztek Dummy, I will. But overall, I'm pretty okay with that. The EM field grills turned out pretty good. You know, the striping would have worked if just the Vallejo was better. So let's go ahead and move on to the other bottom piece, see if our disappointment continues. I was worried about this. Yeah, it's a slight line. That one's alright. That one's okay too. Okay. I was like, oh my god, what is that? Okay, that turned out okay. That one turned out okay. Thankfully, this is the bottom. I might be able to just be able to color correct that now that I think about it. It is the bottom. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Let's go ahead and get our EM field grill here. I will let you know what what I choose to do with that in the next episode. So, all right, that came out pretty good. And so did that one. Actually, pretty pleased with that how that turned out, especially on like a custom part of that paint job. So, okay. What I'm likely going to do is I'm just going to try to figure out a way of getting that paint taped off real quick and then just tape and paint through there, and we'll just kind of deal with it and live with it. I have to deal with the Vallejo for the rest of this build. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not going to be buying that anymore. It's just what it is. Okay, let's go ahead and do some low-hanging fruit. Let's go ahead and take care of our EM field grills here real quick. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. And it's the same color that I used on the nacelle mod for the Enterprise D. And it's the proper color for this application. And we'll be using that same color for our RCS thrusters as well. Let's go ahead and remove our paint stick here. I'm going to grab my sharp nose and get down in here. I had a real tough time with the blue. I don't know why. It was on my premix as well, and it's just fine, but... Oh, that turned out okay. I had to go in with a brush and hand paint these in afterwards. Really, really struggled with getting the blue down, but that turned out okay. Kind of slight, but that's the idea. A little piece of blue or yellow tape here. Okay, now let's go ahead and start removing pieces of tape. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I thought this effect was going to turn out pretty good. Spraying the Tamiya is fantastic. There's a little bit of bleed. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I just know it's the Vallejo. There we go. I am scraping paint up when I do this, so hopefully minimize that. That's turned out pretty good up here. The Vallejo just bled and bled and bled. That's all I gotta say. Unfortunately. Okay, that turned out pretty good actually. Outside a little bit of the bleed, I do like the way the colors all work together. Let's go ahead and pull our tape. Okay. That one didn't pull any of our pigment, which is good. Maybe we did that one. That turned out pretty good. Okay. That's not too bad. So let's go ahead and take a look there. There we are. I mean, overall, pretty good. A little bit of paint bleed, but I was a little concerned about this paint job, but I think I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the other top piece, and we will be right back. Alright, so there we are, and for whatever reason, I just had some bleed come through here, and I don't even know if that's bleed. A little bit of paint pull here. The Vallejo kind of ruined this whole process. The Tamiya went on so nice, but unfortunately I'm stuck with the Vallejo in order to keep my color matching right. Hey, so I'm not super pleased. I'd give myself about a B+ on this whole paint job. Let's go ahead and see how our nacelles do look when they're put together, however. And you know, as I sit back from it a little bit, once you get the grills and the chiller grills in there and what have you, and get the bussards on, yeah, you know, it's not going to be too bad. Let's go ahead and put the other one together real fast and see what we got. Oh yeah, this is the one that's a pain in the butt. Yeah, you know, these don't look too bad. I have to say, they don't look too bad at all. Especially when you step back from it a little bit. So, we'll just have to kind of take that as it is. We're going to do a little bit of color correcting off screen. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what I did next week before we move back onto the pylons. And then, my friends, we're going to start thinking about getting the main model to get put together so we can move on to the next phase. So, that's what I got for you today. And I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, he spent a couple of minutes with me watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And just remember to always live long and prosper.